Good evening, gentlemen, from the cold white north of Wisconsin. I was in town in Gffl over the weekend. It was just as cold, and it's even worse up here now. So, anyhow, another exciting week of football has occurred. A lot of drama, a lot of division races shaking up. So let's take a look at things. A little something different this week. I figure we check the old message board, see what's going on out there. Little bit of jibber jabber. I think the best quote of the day was from Kerr's bad owners. Make bad decisions and miss the playoffs. Complete brain fart on my part. Was channeling my inner Walt and focused on deer season. Have a nice 8-pointer to show for it. Chris, you do not catch deer. So, a little smack talk there amongst the boys. Kerr's, congrats on the deer if you actually bagged one. You get a chance, send us a photo. Make some of us jealous. So, happy to see you there and all that. So, on to other things, on to activities, some of the player action going on. Not much going on the waiver wire these days, but we should probably take a quick peek at that if I can figure out how to bring it up. So, anyhow, let's see here. So, Rickman added Monty Ball, and then, of course, Monty Ball got hurt again, so we knew about that. Jonesy, for whatever dumb reason, cut Roy Halou. I believe Roy Halou had a good game this week. Added C.J. Anderson, running back for Denver Broncos. Jonesy cut LeGarrette Blount. After adding him 1 week, cut him the next. Terrible call on your part. Added Darren Sproles. Kerr's cut Lorenzo Talaferro and picked up Nate Freeze, kicker for Detroit. I thought Matt Prater was a kicker in Detroit, Chris, but or Kerr's, I don't know. As for me, let's see. Chris cut Pierre Garçon, add Jonas Gray, running back from New England. And yours truly went out and added the child beater, Adrian Peterson. Yes, I added Peterson. I think he's going to play this weekend. Taking a shot in the dark because I have nothing to lose, nor do I have anything to gain, outside of making somebody cry in their Cheerios at the end of the season. So I'm taking Peterson. I think he's going to play. I think for them to even suspend him for the rest of the season's horseshit. But wasn't nothing his kids didn't get that we didn't get growing up. So I don't know. Chris and Courage, you guys may have had that timeout shit. I don't know, but I know I didn't. So as for the scores for this past week, a lot of action going on. We'll start with me and Wade. Wade had to put up his best team and pretty much did. He had, of course, the Green Bay trifecta, which pretty much sealed the deal for him. Aaron Rodgers with 25 points. D'Angelo Williams and Rashad Jennings combined for a total of 8 points. Not much out of his running backs. Anquan Boldin got him 5, but Jordy Nelson 14. Cobb got him 11. Gostowski 6, and the Bears 4. A good week all around for him, putting up 73 points. Not a bad week. As for myself, I put up the best team I could put up. The only thing I could have done is get one extra point out of somebody. Russell Wilson only netted me 15 points. Steven Jackson 3. Eddie Lacy 20 points. Another big week for him. Deshaun Jackson 2 points. Mike Wallace from 60 Minutes only got me 2 more points. And sadly, Jimmy Grant only got me 1 against the Bengals. It was a good bounce-back game for the Bengals. Matt Bryant, 13 points, my newly acquired kicker. And then the Panthers D got me 4. So I totaled up 60 points. Best I could have done was 61. And Wade ends up with 73. So a good week for Wade. Big victory for him. He needs that victory. Because if we go look at the other scores, the big one in that division was Fish and Brad. Whoever loses there falls out of first. And basically, if Brad loses, he falls out of first. And with Wade winning it, he moves into first. So a lot of it was going on in this game. If we take a look, for Brad, Phillip Rivers only got him 11 points. Not a good week, but his only other quarterback was Matt Stafford, got him 6. So he picked the right quarterback there. Matt Forte, 14 points. Mark Ingram 7, a little bit slow, but still a good week for him. Roddy White got him 13. Calvin Johnson only 5. Randall for the Giants 112 yards, 9 points, but didn't find the end zone. 2 points out of his kicker, big deal. Seahawks defense got him 4. Not much Brad could have done different. He got the maximum points. He had 100% coaches rating. As for Fish, Matt Ryan got him 16 points. Jamal Charles, 25 points, had a great day. Alfred Morris, 132 yards, 10 points. Brandon Marshall, 2 TDs, 90 yards, 18 points. Antoine Brown, 13 points. Mohamed Sanu, 1 point. Mike Ted Nugent, 9 points. And the Niners D only 12, got him 12 points as well. So great week all around for Fish. So Fish wins, makes life a little bit harder on Brad going the rest of the way out. Kurz and Chris, that one ended in a pretty close one. That one ended in regulation at a tie. I think I'm seeing this right. Oh, I can't tell. So it looks like 59-59 end of regulation. Basically, what saved Kurz's bacon was Le'Veon Bell putting up 24 points on Monday night. Huge week. Roethlisberger 11. Tavavian West at 1 point. Jeremy Maclin got him 13 against Green Bay. A lot of garbage yards at the end. Keenan Allen 7. Sammy Watkins only 1. Freeze got him 0 because Freeze doesn't kick for the Lions. Browns defense 2 points. Great deal for him. 59 points there. As for Chris, 16 points from Drew Brees. Matt Asada got him nothing, which kind of cancels out the goose egg on his kicker for there. Andre Ellington 6. Julio Jones 6. Odell Beckham 6. Gronkowski 11. Hauschka 8. Texans 6. So at end of regulation, they end up going 59. They go to the benches, and Chris's bench completely fell on its face. His highest scoring person on there was the Buccaneers defense at 18. He starts the Buccaneers defense, he wins. He doesn't, he loses. For Kurz, his bench had Jay Cutler with 27 points, which should pretty much seal the deal. The other Bell brother, he got 8. Reggie Wayne 5. Marcellus Bennett 2. Chiefs 2. So 44 points for him on his bench. 44-28. Winner by decision goes to Kurz. So Kurz wins. Congrats to Kurz. Even though we're out, me, him, and Tony are still trying to play spoiler. As for Tony, he faces Dennis Rickman, the Wiener Waffle King of Wiener Waffle Wagon of Connorsville. Rickman put up some big numbers, 21 from luck and a losing performance. Very sad for a Colts fan. LaShawn McCoy 10 points. He still put 106 yards and good night for him. Monty Ball nothing. He got hurt. He's done. Alshon Jeffrey great week, 17 points. T.Y. Hilton only 1. Benjamin 16 points. A great receiver. I think he'll probably be one of those guys we'll see next year, maybe our top 10 at receivers when the books come out for next season. Sturgis 8. Cardinals 6. Rickman ends up with 79 points. Really couldn't done too much different. Could have maybe plugged Trey Mason in at running back. That would have helped him there against Monty Ball being out. As for T.I., does 100% coaches rating, puts his best possible team on the field. Tom Brady 17 points, Marshawn Lynch 10 points, Shane Green 3, Edelman 5, LaFell 5, LaFell 4, Cooks 5. Cooks, though, they're saying he is on injured reserve and he's going to be out the rest of the season. So, Tony, I don't even know if you have anything left, but you might have to make a move there. Packers defense, the winner, MVP of the league, MVP for this week was the Packers D. 29 points. They had a kickoff return, a fumble recovery, and I believe an interception all return plus 3 sacks. So a great week to have them. Tony wins 84-79. playing the spoiler role quite well. He's doing what I couldn't, so don't count any of the three of us out. We're still very much alive in this league. We're not going to lay down for nobody. As for Greg and Jonesy, Greg, 18 from Dalton, had a good week finally. Lamar Miller, 6. Hill, 14. Demarius Thomas, 9. Emmanuel Sanders, 14. Rumor about Sanders, he's expected to miss practice this week after suffering a concussion on Sunday. AJ Green, 15. McManus, 1. Patriots, 3. Greg ends up with a total of 80. And as for Jonesy, a big week for him, but he had a lot of players on the bye, and it didn't work out well for him. Manning got 22 as usual. Darren Sproles, nothing. Anderson got him 7. Andre Johnson, 1. Golden Tate, 1. Johnson, 1. Julius Thomas, 1. Adam Vinatieri, 9. Broncos, D, 3. He ends up with a total of 49. Even if he puts his best team on the field, which has got him 54, he still doesn't even come close to Greg. Greg wins, taking him to 6 and 5, kind of putting him back in the hunt with things. So, just got an ESPN update. Doesn't matter to us. As for, so that sums things up. So if we can take a look at the league standings now after this week of play. The three usual suspects are out, me, Kurz, and Tony, so we won't go into that. In the North, Dennis is still number 1 overall at 7 and 4 by way of the tiebreaker over Jonesy. Greg is 6 and 5, very much in the hunt. Chris is 5 and 6. He's going to have to win out to even make it interesting. Wade is 8 and 3, pretty much in control of his own destiny. Brad and Fish are tied at 7 and 4. Brad, by way of tiebreakers, ahead of him. And, of course, me and Kurz are out. So, but still a lot of football left to play. We'll see what shakes out this week. I apologize, fellas. I got a very bad toothache. And I'm trying to grind this out for you. Let's see here. So, on to this week's games. If we take a look at stuff, me and Rickman will go at it. My lineup could very easily change because if Peterson plays, they're playing in Minnesota, they're playing Green Bay. It's a rivalry game for them, and I'll definitely play him. But we'll see. Right now, if he doesn't, I may start Denard Robinson against the Colts. So Wilson, it could be Denard Robinson or Adrian Peterson. We'll see what happens. Eddie Lacy, of course, will start. As for receivers, most likely be Deshaun Jackson, Fitzgerald, and Jimmy Graham. That'll probably who I go with. Matt Bryant, he's putting up numbers. I have no reason to change my kicker at this juncture. And then the Jets deal being for me this week because the Panthers are on bye. As for Denny Rickman, he'll stick with Luck because Newton's on the bye. LaShawn McCoy is the best running back he's got. His other running back, Monty Ball, is going to be out, so he's either going to go Trey Mason, Richardson, or Corwell. We'll see what happens there. Receiving, Alshon Jeffrey, T.Y. Hilton, and then he'll probably plug Steve Smith back in because Benjamin's on a bye. He'll probably either go with Sturgis or Dawson at kicker. Probably, it's a horse apiece, really. Defense, I like the Cardinals D. They play in Seattle, so I don't see the Bills putting up much. So it'll be a good week between me and Rickman right now. We'll just see what happens with me and my roster come later this week, particularly tomorrow, what they say with Adrian Peterson. As for the title of the week, probably the game of the week, I think is going to be Brad and Wade. This one's a big game for both players. Wade beats Brad, it kind of seals the deal for him. If Brad beats Wade, I think it takes Brad back into the lead, into the division by way of tiebreaker. Brad right now, he looks like he's going to start Matt Stafford. Forte and Ingram will be his running backs. I like that play there. Wes Welker, Calvin Johnson, Kendall Wright at his receivers. Brad may play around there with Roddy White and bring him in, or he may consider Eddie Royal, but I don't know. It's a tough call for him there. But Welker should see more passes with some of the injuries there in Denver. So Cataranzo in Arizona is kicker in the Seahawks defense. Can't really go wrong there. They've only burned him once. That he doesn't have another defense. Wade, couple things. He's gonna stick with Rodgers in the triumphant and Green Bay with Nelson and Cobb. He's gonna make a change at running back. He's either gonna plug in. Or DeMarco Murray will be back, so he'll plug him in front of Williams, D'Angelo Williams. So I'm assuming he's gonna stick with Rashad Jennings. The problem is there you have Dallas and the Jets, Giants are playing each other, so your two running backs kind of cancel each other out. So you may see him make a different move there. I doubt it. That's maybe too far thinking for Wade to do something like that. But a lot of times those two will cancel each other out. Anquan Bolden at receiver, Nelson and Cobb, of course, Gostkowski at kicker. Probably stick with the Bears defense. I don't see the Eagles defense doing much. They may come back. They're playing Tennessee, so you never know there. But right now, I think this game will be a lot of questions will be answered, but I think it'll be a close game. I wouldn't be surprised if I'd say the spread on that game is about 2.5. Wade's probably favored 2.5 there. So as for Fish and Kurz, doesn't mean nothing to Kurz. It means a whole lot to Fish. He needs to win here to stay in the hunt, particularly if Wade loses and Brad wins, then it really makes it interesting for Fish. Fish has some decisions to make. He's got Matt Ryan at quarterback, but Brian Hoyer's playing well. They're playing Arizona. Arizona's secondary is a little bit suspect. Jamal Charles, of course, you're going to keep riding that horse. Alfred Morris, his stick with him at running back. Brandon Marshall, I like. Your other wide receiver, he's going to make a change there. It'll either be Vincent Jackson, who I like a lot, Hawkins, or Josh Gordon. But I think Vincent Jackson's a good call there. Mohamed Sanu, you're going to make a change there. You may stick with Sanu this week against Houston. We'll see. Ted Nugent, the All-American Freedom Rocker, at kicker, and then 49ers D, because you don't have another defense. As for Kurz, he's got Roethlisberger and Bell on bye, so you're going to plug in Cutler. Ben Tate got cut today, so he's out. So Jacquez Bell probably his other running back. Let's see here. Jeremy Maclin, you'll stick with him. Keenan Allen, you'll stick with him. Sammy Watkins, you'll stick with him. You may play Reggie Wayne here this week because they're playing Jacksonville again. I like that move. But, other than that, Vernon Davis is a joke this year. And Kurz, you make a move at kicker because you're going to make Tucker back. So, and then the Browns defense over the Chiefs. It's a horse apiece this week. So, once Rick Kurz makes a couple changes in his lineups, I think that game will be about a 5.5 point difference. As for Tony faces Jonesy. This one right now projects to be about a 1 point difference between the two. For Tony, he's going to most likely he'll probably go back to Roma at quarterback. Marshawn Lynch will stay there. Shane Vereen, Ben Vereen's boy, I imagine, is out, so he'll probably bring in Zach Stacy or Maurice Jones-Drew. Elman at receiver, or LaFell. I think you're going to see Des Bryant come back and Trayvon Williams come back for him at receiver. Either one of those will be fine, or both. I think you got to keep either Edelman or LaFell in. You got to pick your poison there. Mason Crosby at kicker, might as well. Packers defense, after what they did last week, might as well. My thing is with that game there, if the Packers go up early, you're going to see Minnesota start throwing the ball, and it only makes Packers defense better. Jonesy, he's got Peyton Manning. He's going to stick with Manning. Running back, he's got Sproles and Anderson. Colston, he's got Andre Johnson, Golden Tate, Julius Thomas. You're going to stick with that there. Vinatieri, kicker, and the Broncos defense. So all around there, I think that's going to be a tough game. But I think once Tony makes a couple changes to his receivers, I think Tony will probably win that game by about, I don't want to say 6. So, and as for Greg and Chris, a must win for Chris and a must win, I think, for Greg. It looks to be Greg's. He's got his choice between Tannehill and Dalton. I like Tannehill against Denver because he's going to have to throw the ball a lot. I don't like Dalton against Houston because, J.J. Watt. I don't need to say anymore. He's just a beast. He's a man-child. Forsett and Hill at running back. I like Lamar Miller to plug him in here somewhere. Pick your poison there, Greg. Demaryius Thomas, stick with him. Emmanuel Sanders, maybe. A.J. Green there as well. If you do start Tannehill, you may want to plug in Hartline in one of those spots. McManus as your kicker, or Dan Carpenter, either or there. It's a horse apiece. Patriots D, stick with them because that's all you got. For Chris, Drew Brees, he's going to start the Greg guy a week late, I think. I don't think you'll see him do what he did this week, but you never know. You never know with that hooded sweatshirt wearing fool up there in New England. Andre Ellington, his other running back, Julio Jones, Odell Beckham, Gronkowski, Hauschka, and the Texans defense. I think it's a pretty good matchup there. All those guys will be good. I don't think there's any changes you can make that's going to make your team much better with how the things are going. So, a busy week, important week for everybody. So, I apologize for making it short this week, but my throat's shot and my jaw's killing me because I got toothache. So, other than that, good luck, everybody. I hope everybody puts up good numbers and makes it a very interesting week. Any questions, feel free to contact me. Give me a call. Hit me up on the message board. And Wade, you sent me an email and said you had something attached. There was no attachment. So, other than that, we'll see you next week, guys.
Open up and talk.